So Xiaomi says that the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is a spiritual successor to the Xiaomi 12i Hypercharge and not the Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus, which could thus explain the higher price tag of the phone. So I've used the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus extensively for the past 10 days as my primary drivers with two SIMs inside, Airtel and Jio. And this is my full review of the phone after 10 days of usage. And of course, a comparison against the Realme 10 Pro Plus while we're at it for added context. If you don't know me yet, I'm Arshad. You're watching Trakin Tech English. Let's begin. Let's start with what you get inside the box. Both Redmi and Realme offer a similar kind of package. So you get the phone, you get a screen protector which is pre-installed, you get a case, you get an adapter and a Type-C cable, and of course a SIM card tool as well. The only difference is that the charger inside the Redmi's box is a 120-watt charger and the one that you get with Realme is an 80-watt charger, but of course the phone supports only 67-watt fast charging. Also, one thing I noticed is that the screen protector pre-applied on the Note is not of as good quality as the one that is pre-applied on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. Let's talk about the design of the phone. Redmi plays it safe with the design of the Note 12 Pro Plus. It's not as flashy and doesn't have a glittery, shimmery pattern like the Realme 10 Pro Plus does. But what I like about the Redmi is that, of course, this white color I think looks very attractive, and it has used premium materials in the construction as well. So you get a glass back and a metal camera module. But of course, like most camera modules go these days, table wobble is a real thing, man. In comparison, the Realme 10 Pro Plus is made entirely of plastic and it's about 30 grams lighter, and therefore the in-hand feel is much better because it's very, very light to hold and use. It's not like the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus's in-hand feel is not good. It is good, and that's also because of the curved glass that you get on the rear, so it feels planted in the hand, but yes, it does feel heavy after a while. Now, if you're wondering, both these phones have a plastic frame, but they look deceivingly similar to metal. Now, if you talk about the ports and the materials used, of course, Redmi has a clear edge. Firstly, like I mentioned, you do get glass in the back, but you also get Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the display, which is not available on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. But more importantly, you get a headphone jack and an infrared blaster as well, which is not available on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. Now, both these phones offer a proper stereo speaker setup, but Redmi offers Dolby Atmos support as well. And in my Realme review, I had mentioned that the 10 Pro Plus doesn't sound that great. And that's true because the Redmi does sound far better. It sounds richer and fuller. In fact, take a listen for yourself and let me know what you think. Wait. Before you take a listen to the stereo speaker quality, listen to what I have to say. Please, if you like our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. For you guys, we're doing this for you. So we'd love your support. Finally, you get a dual nano SIM card tray on both these phones with no way to expand the memory, so of course no memory card slot. And you get a USB Type-C port at the bottom, which is of USB 2.0 standards. Overall, I feel that the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus has superior construction and functional hardware features as well. Oh, and before I forget, there's also IP53 rating for added protection, which is not available on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. So I'd pick functionality over looks because looks eventually fade away after some time. See, 2 years down the line, you'd appreciate the fact that the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus has a headphone jack and an infrared blaster, but the Realme 10 Pro Plus's looks will definitely not be as attractive as it was when you first opened it out of the box. Talking about the display on the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus, you get a 6.67-inch OLED panel, 120Hz refresh rate, variable refresh rate, which can switch between 30, 60 and 90, and you've also got 240Hz touch sampling rate. Apart from that, you also get support for HDR10+ and Dolby Vision and 1 billion colors as well. In contrast, no pun intended, you get a slightly bigger 6.7-inch display on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. It's of course an AMOLED panel. It's also got 950 nits of peak brightness, over 900 nits on the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus, and you also get 1 billion colors. Of course, you get support for HDR10+, but no Dolby Vision, and there's no support for variable refresh rate either. But what this display has on the Realme 10 Pro Plus is a curved edge, and that is going to be attractive for a lot of folks. Also, Realme was shouting from the rooftops about the 2160 pulse width modulation that's available on the phone, which is 1920 on the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. So yes, that's also available on the Redmi, which basically means that at low brightness levels also you get far lower flicker, so it doesn't affect your eyesight. Now, while the Realme has a nice curved display, what matters more is the actual performance. And when you're looking at HDR performance and color tuning, Redmi hits it out of the park. When I watched Dolby Vision videos side by side on Netflix, the quality, you can just see the difference for yourself. It's just so much better on Redmi's panel. Purely because you get high dynamic range support, which is not even available on the Realme 10 Pro Plus yet. There has been no update since I reviewed the phone. Now, if you look at 4K HDR videos side by side, both are pretty similar. But what I noticed is that Redmi seems to be slightly brighter, a tad brighter. Also, more importantly, remember I had mentioned that Realme has a stutter problem when playing 4K HDR videos on its phone. Well, that's not happening with the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. So I don't know what's happening here. What's the problem with the Realme phone? So when you look at the display quality along with the speaker and the headphone jack, I really like how Redmi is looking at democratizing great multimedia quality and giving you a good display panel with great audio quality as well. Now, Realme might have a flashy design and a flashy curved display, but it is all looks. Now, moving on, also part of the display is that in-display fingerprint scanner. It's very fast on the Realme 10 Pro Plus, but you do not get an in-display fingerprint scanner on the Redmi. You get a side-mounted one. I don't really care for an in-display or a side-mounted one as long as they unlock first, which they do. But one area where Realme clearly takes the lead is when it comes to haptic feedback. Like I mentioned, haptics on the Realme 10 Pro Plus is of really good quality. It's tuned really well. You get precise, tight vibration feedback. See, you get precise feedback on the X-axis motor that's inside the Redmi as well, but it's not as good. Alright, so now moving on to the camera section. As per the usual, we have a camera comparison of both these phones. You should go check that out and then come back to this video. Although if you don't have the patience, let me summarize how the 200 megapixel camera on the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus stacks up against the 108 MP unit inside the Realme 10 Pro Plus. So the primary 200 megapixel Samsung HPX camera on the Note captures sharper images compared to Realme's 108 megapixel camera. You also get superior HDR performance on the Note. However, when it comes to color reproduction, the Realme 10 Pro Plus is closer to neutral as Redmi botches up the reds and the greens primarily. When you're shooting friends and family, apart from overblown highlights on the face and the t-shirt, the facial tones and details are better on Redmi. Moreover, HDR is better on Redmi too. I like Realme's pictures for being well controlled with the exposure though. Redmi needs to fix that. Now, portraits are equally matched on both with decent depth mapping and edge cutout as well. Low light shots using the primary camera technically slightly better on the Redmi because the night mode algorithm manages to clean out a lot of the noise in the shadow region. But otherwise, both are equally matched when it comes to exposing the scene. Ultra wide angle camera on the Realme can capture less detail in daylight, but when it comes to HDR and low light ultra wides, it beats Redmi. For some reason, Note 12 Pro Plus doesn't do good multi-stack processing for the ultra wide angle camera. Macro, on the other hand, is better on Redmi because camera can get closer to the subject to lock focus. As for selfies, Realme has an upper hand with the right color reproduction and superior HDR and low light performance as well. Finally, when it comes to video recording, I prefer the Redmi thanks to optical image stabilization. You get stable footage, more details, better HDR and superior sound recording as well. Realme does get an advantage with super stabilized footage in 1080p 60fps video recording, but 1080p 30fps is better on the Redmi again. However, ultra-wide and selfie video recording quality is superior on Realme, just like the pictures. Overall, when you look at it, Redmi has a slight edge in primary camera performance when you look at picture quality and video recording. But if you are somebody who cares for selfie camera, then the Realme would be the best bet. Here's something interesting: the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus comes in only two variants, 8256 and 12256. And both these phones share the same Dimensity 1080 chip. And truth be told, the Dimensity 1080 is similar in performance to Dimensity 920. And if you're looking for performance-oriented phones, you can get phones with the Dimensity 8100 or even Snapdragon 870, which will definitely perform better. So if you're a gamer, these are not the phones for you. That said, in my tests, I noticed that the Realme 10 Pro Plus was tuned slightly better. So firstly, Antutu and Geekbench scores were higher on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. But the CPU throttle stability scores at 87% was the same on both the phones, so that's a good thing. But what you need to note is that both these phones are pretty decent with daily performance, and even if you're gaming, they will run cooler for longer durations because they don't really push for performance. Talking about games, Apex runs at normal graphics and very high frames, or Ultra HD graphics and high frames. And Call of Duty runs at high, very high, and low and max. So if you want to game, even Snapdragon 778G offers better graphics performance and of course more frames as well. So moving on to network quality, I tested both Airtel and Jio 5G on the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus. Absolutely no problem with 5G connection. great call quality as well, which was true for even the Realme 10 Pro Plus. Plus, you also get support for Wi-Fi 6 on both these phones. So network performance wise, literally nothing to separate these two. Both are very, very good. Moving on to the battery life, you get a 5000 mAh unit inside both these phones, and you can expect 1.5 days worth of usage on both these phones as well. Unfortunately, MIUI doesn't have the option to see screen on time, so I couldn't really see how long the screen lasted me while I was testing it. But my educated guess would be that it is somewhere around the 8 hours to 10 hours screen on time, depending on whether you're using 5G, 4G, whatever it is, right? And that's similar to the Realme 10 Pro Plus as well. Battery life wise, I mean, there's nothing separating the two. Both are pretty good. However, when you look at battery charging speeds, of course, the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is better because you get 120 watt fast charging speeds compared to 67 watt on the Realme. So you can charge this phone from 0 to 100 in about 20 minutes is what we got in our test, but you have to switch on the boost mode for it. But in the Realme 10 Pro Plus, you have to wait for over 40 minutes for it to charge from 0 to 100. I'm okay with that, but if you're somebody who prefers fast charging, then Redmi is the way to go because it's super fast. Alright, now let's talk about the software, which is slightly contentious on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. Not so much on the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus, except for the fact that the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus comes with Android 12 and MIUI 13. MIUI 13 of course is the latest, but Android 12 is not, and that is disappointing. Now Redmi says that you will get 2 years of platform updates. 2 years of platform updates means that you will get Android 13 and 14, not 14 and 15, which is what you can expect on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. Now let's talk about the experience itself. If you care for a cleaner software experience, I can't believe I'm saying this, MIUI is the way to go. There are many pre-installed apps, but none of the useless ones like Moj and Josh Plus and Moj Lite, all the crappy ones that you get with Realme. You do get useful ones like Facebook, Snapchat, Netflix, all of which you might install regardless, but you can uninstall them as well. Also, there are no hot apps or hot game recommendations like you get with the Realme 10 Pro Plus, and you don't have that intrusive personalized searched ad recommendations or whatever that is that's going on in Realme. That's not there on Redmi. So yeah, I'm glad that Redmi has cleaned up its act quite a bit. But as far as UI design goes, I feel Realme's Realme UI is more minimalistic, it's cleaner, it's slicker compared to MIUI. But MIUI is of course more feature rich. I'm liking how fast MIUI is these days, especially with mid-range phones and, of course, upper mid-range phones as well. I'd say the software round is a tie for me, with both of these having their own shares of pros and cons. So, the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is definitely a risky move for Xiaomi in India, primarily because of the rising price graph that it has to contend with. However, they've somehow managed to offer a well-balanced phone, which I more or less prefer more than the Realme 10 Pro Plus. And the reason for that is you get a much better performing display, you get a headphone jack, you get far better stereo speakers, you also get good primary camera, photographs and videography as well, and of course you get faster charging too, for those who care about it. At the time of shooting this review, all I know is that the 8256GB base variant of the phone will be priced under Rs 30,000. And looking at the Realme 10 Pro Plus's 8256GB variant's pricing, which is about 28k, that is the same ballpark number that I'm looking for the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus, give or take 1,000 rupees. Overall, I'd say the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is a good option in this category. And I say good option primarily because if you're a gamer, you should look at other options for sure. But wait for it, I took one glance at the Redmi Note 12 Pro specs and the spec to price ratio seems to be too good. Primarily because you get Sony IMX766 with OIS in it. So I haven't tested that phone yet, so I'll reserve my thoughts for that one after I've tested it. What do you guys think of the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know in the comment section below. For more such awesome videos, don't forget to subscribe to Trakin Tech English. And of course, see you guys in the next one. Keep tracking and stay safe.